Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? Okay, had to lower my chair a little bit. Sorry that I'm like 12 hours and a half late, but I'm here. Thank you so much for your patience. Welcome to the great state of Ohio! 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 Hello, Yoko and Ishi Hidetoshi. Hidetoshi is sleeping right now. I was gonna live stream from the living room, and I had told him that I'm gonna be live streaming later, and from the living room, and then I was live streaming on my gaming channel, which you should be subscribed to if you haven't. I have a gaming channel. It's called Random Yoko Vlog. It used to be a vlog channel, but now it's my gaming channel. And so I was live streaming there, playing COD Mobile. And then while I was playing, abruptly, he turned off the lights and was like, "What?" But yeah, he's sleeping right now. Just a wee bit late. Yes, good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing? I had uh, an okay day, I think. I just slept in because guess what I was up to last night or yesterday, the whole day? I was at CPAC. You were probably like, uh-huh. There was CPAC Fukuoka, like our prefecture, CPAC Fukuoka, Japan, yesterday. So, and my husband was one of the speakers, and so gave a speech. It was only for 15 minutes, but like the whole event was short, so that's the best. And so he spoke about China, and firstly his introduction, which is that CCP knows him, and that the Hong Kong newspaper has written about him many times, and he's on the blacklist called the Hong Kong Leaks and so on. And he was talking about it, and also he referred to what is going on in Asia. His friends, like our friends, are getting arrested. Because it's in Mongolia, Hong Kong. Hong Kong when it was, not completely conquered by CCP, and also India. Our friends get arrested because the governments are influenced by CCP. But so he was talking about it, and there was the chairman of JCU, IPA too, and one other expert there talking about Japan-U.S. situation, like historically and so on. And he was emphasizing how Japan needs to get independent and so on. So it was a good event. And I was actually the like what you call like MC. I was there to uh, like basically moderating. Now like I introduce people and then let have them speak and so on. So I was at the microphone space the whole time, and then we had a after party because that's what you gotta do at events. So it was just a whole day, and I had to be professional like all day long. So I was so exhausted the night before too. Like we had to get together and make sure that we are on the same page and so on. And so like I was so exhausted. And this morning at the same time, there's construction going on in our neighborhood too, and I can't sleep well. Like I haven't been sleeping well. So like this morning it's Sunday, so on Sundays they don't do the construction, and I was like dead asleep. So that's my excuse for not coming on time. But I'm so happy to see you guys here. Hey Yoko, hey, nice to see you. Yoko looking elegant as always. I hope so. I'm very sweaty, I feel. In the living room, there's air conditioner, air conditioning, and it's so cool, chilly there, and it's super hot and humid here. And I have a fan here. Um, by the way, Japanese people use like a automated fan, like a how like all this like a regular fan that you use at home. Japan has the mini version that you can hold, and then the fan goes, and then Japanese young people, it doesn't. I guess all generations, but they hold the thing, and then the air comes in. But then there's alert. Just you gotta be careful because it can explode depending on the condition that you've been using it, and also the hot air comes in too. So I would stick with the hand fan, Asian fan. Anyway, Trump will beat Biden and hoped Japan will have a new prime minister by then. Yeah. It's difficult to think about Japan. Like, I see back, they were basically criticizing Kishida too, like how he is not helping Japan at all. And like, it's important to see both ways, I think, like what he's doing good and what he's doing wrong. And I was realizing the damages that he's actually causing. Like, he's one of the like, what's good about Kishida administration right now is that it's very stable, and also it's very cooperating very closely with Biden administration, meaning America, which I evaluate highly. However, Japanese people, especially after seeing Emmanuel, you know, behaving like he owns us, as an ambassador, you know, um, telling us what to do about LGBT bill, and also Biden, he slipped up, like he made a gaffe, basically, saying that he pressured our prime minister 3 times to boost our defense budget, which we did. And even though it's a good thing, that we have to push ourselves to, invest in our national security, and we are the kind of tribe that needs the pressure from outside so that we can finally change. Like, we have, like, culturally and historically, we have that tendency. Like, we are weak when we are pressured from the outside, and we can't change from within. So that's okay. And I guess that just had to be the way that it happens. However, there is the problem, we are pressured by Biden administration right now. And that, so at CPAC, all the people, the speakers and also the participants, they are very worried that Japan is not being like independent. We are not completely being independent. So they were pointing that out. Yeah. And but then who can be our prime minister, though? I'm hoping that Sanae Takaichi will be the next prime minister, but we will see, because it's all about politics. And LDP, the governing party right now of Japan, it's a huge party that the party itself is like a national diet. It's like a congress. Just the party alone, like, they are fighting within so much that there are political situations there, that all the limitations come from there, and especially the lack of Shinzo Abe. It's making things difficult. I think that Shinzo Abe did make a big mistake earlier, when he was alive, that when there's this female politician, the current governor of Tokyo, Yuriko Koike, and she was the leader of the political party, Kibo no To. I have no idea what it's called in English. Party of Hope. Okay, the Party of Hope. So there was a Party of Hope. It was our hope. And so there were lots of conservative politicians, and even liberal people combined together, and we were gonna, like, I was part of the party, like as a supporter, and my husband was a candidate actually, and we were doing so well that Shinzo Abe got scared. Our What we wanted to do was to make that party, the party of hope, bigger enough to be the biggest opposition party, so that we can cooperate with LDP, the governing party, and then we can discuss. Like, both are being conservative somewhat, so in the Japanese society, so that we were hoping that those two big conservative parties can rule our country and discuss all these productive things, like revising our constitution so that we can have military forces officially, and boost our defense budget and blah blah blah, and also just making our society better. But what happened was that Shinzo Abe got scared that because the party of hope was doing so good, that he had to, like, he was so scared that he had to beat it down. So yeah, all his supporters, like Shinzo Abe's supporters, were very vicious too. And yeah, if we had established that system at that time, then things would have been way different right now. So that's sad. Okay, so yeah, so I was at CPAC. Yeah, we were talking about Russia too, but I'm not gonna get into that because it's such a big topic. But what else? I need to tell you guys about my Etsy store. Please buy my art. Wait, okay. I think I can show you this. Let's see. Window. Ta-da! I have an Etsy store. I guess that Etsy has problems too, but this is the store that I own there. I added a new piece there. $200. I know it's expensive, but I drew this. This is a fox. I know it doesn't look like it, but it is a fox, the spirit of a fox. And then another new one is this. This is a bird. Just a bird. It's a bird. I know that it doesn't look like it, but for you, but it does look like it to me. There are eyes here, the mouth here, and then two wings, and then and legs. Yeah, so please check that out. Link in the description box, or I can copy and paste it here. Please purchase, because I desperately I would be just be blunt. I need money right now. Like, I'm very desperately need it, like in a few days. So that's why I'm putting art again in my Etsy store. So check that out if you can. Yep. And then also I am on my gaming channel a lot because I want to monetize that channel. I need like 4,000 hours of watch time. Like, it's so crazy today. It used to be very easy, but today is so difficult. And yeah. And should I get subscribed to Twitter Blue? Like, I tweeted about it, but I have to pay to get paid, which, I mean, makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's worth to pay for that. Yeah. And now that the US presidential campaign, I mean, yeah, like the race is getting like, like we're heading into the race more and more. So I think that I will get into like election mode. I know I'm Japanese and I'm from another country, but I want to contribute, for both Japan and the US. I should tell our people about what's going on in the US and so on. One thing that was interesting about what I heard at CPAC was like it's common sense, that's something that I had already known, but just I was just realizing while hearing the chairman speak, like America changes every time there's an election. Like Biden led like Democratic Party and Republican Party, it's completely the opposite. Like I keep saying that too, but it's just so back and forth. And that's how I guess the US has a balance, but it's really hard for us too, like Japanese people, The Biden administration, of course, like when it comes to human rights and so on, or national security, those who interfere in other countries can benefit us, coming from another country, it could benefit us. But if America sinks down, then we sink down too. When America falls, we fall. Like we are tied together. So, oh, super chat! Thank you so much, Gary. Here you go. I hope you don't mind me asking, but what do you like most and least about being Japanese? What I like most is the just the identity of Japanese, I guess. That I can be proud of my country. I know that Americans can be too, but like I love my country and I think it's good that I'm from here. If that makes sense. It's hard to verbalize, but I hope you get it. I like being Japanese, so at least about being Japanese. Wow, that's a good question. Um, I guess that I do suffer in a way that people here don't have a sense of international society and like foreign cultures and so on. Like they get it, but not don't really get it. Like they know about all these other countries, and Japanese people are very knowledgeable about other countries. I'm pretty sure that Japanese people know so much about the world than other countries, people in other countries. However, they don't get it. Like they don't know the history or the background of what's going on and so on. They just see things superficially. And living in a country full of people like that, I get it. Like it's like only I am red pilled or something. Like that's not true, but I'm just saying like I feel very different from them. Like I'm from here, but I feel very distant, and I feel lonely in a way. At least I have my husband, but even he doesn't get this like international thing. He gets international things when it comes to politics, but and a bit of culture. But it's I guess it's tied with like being an English speaker, I guess. So it's not really about being Japanese, I guess. But yeah. And also the culture, like modern culture. Like I like all this historical culture, that we have here, but like our traditions and so on. But when it comes to modern merchandise or products and so on, or music scenes and so on, I'm not very proud of that. So I guess I just don't like that being part of my life, I guess. Yeah. Yep. Anyway. This is a Q&A session, so ask me anything. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the comments. Mongolia is a slave state to China, unfortunately. Yes. And there was just Cambodia just had an election, and It's so what they do is the same as Russia and others, that the current leader gets rid of the opponents, like the opposition party. They dissolved the opposition party before, and this time, like, they didn't let them run. I heard, so crazy, and they are the puppets of China. But the difficult part is that Japan wants them to be a democratic country, so that I guess that our government is giving aid. I don't know if they stop, like if our country has stopped already, but yeah, it's about Mongolia, Cambodia. Like all these countries today are getting very much influenced by China. It's like the US and China are competing, which country to take, and all those money are going in. But at the same time, I wish that all this, like we hear today about the global south, but I wish that global south countries could just, you know, make things by their own, that they're used to receiving things. I'm like, please just, like, we are, even Japan is, of course, struggling with getting independent, but they have to be stronger and be proud, and like they have to make their countries great, you know like they need their version of Trump, I think. Hmm. Have you seen how the specter of communism is ruling our world by NTD? Is it accurate? No, I have not seen it. I don't think I've seen it. Comments from. Sorry, my contacts are dry. uh, yeah, but do Japanese people in the country. Huh? Japanese people in the country, do they have funny accents like the ones in America? Like a guy language? Men language? Like, dude? Hmm? I'm not fully understanding the question. Rahm Emanuel was Obama's first chief of staff. Yeah. Biden is a destabilizing force worldwide. He projects weakness, not peace, through strength. Exactly. Like Biden so far has said, like, America is not going into World War III, and he recently talked about NATO, like how Ukraine is not joining. Like, of course, like that's something that we want, but at the same time, like he shouldn't say that out loud publicly, because the enemies are hearing that. Based on his weak commentaries, they make decisions. And yeah, as CPAC, like up CPAC here, Fukuoka, which I just talked about earlier. We were talking about Biden, actually, like how Biden, like they were showing one example, like, oh, Biden, uh, comes to an interview, and there's the anchor, and then he just comes, like, to greet usually, right? Like, a hello, I'm Joe Biden, right? But then he just goes away and wanders off. So like, we Japanese in Japan were discussing about it, discussing it. So that's, just imagine what all those people in China and Russia, Iran, and all these countries, what people are saying there. Oh, thank you again for your super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are the Yakuza still active in Japan, or are they dying breed like many in the West think? I don't think they are dying. They're very much active, yes. But yeah. But I'm not too familiar though, but still, like, even recently, I think they sometimes have troubles, it's not the boss level, but you know how it's like a pyramid basically, that they have their bosses, and also like there are lots of like low class people, in their organizations. And sometimes like a low level people, they conflict with each other. Maybe it's coming from the order, from above, but yeah, sometimes I hear on the news that there are conflicts and so on, and that's how it comes to the light, like of their existence. But what's interesting about them is that, like, they are, even though they are the enemy of the police, they also have like a cooperation relationship too, to a certain extent, I think. Or like they understand each other to a certain degree or something. Like there's like they have a unique relationship, I think. I'm not an expert. I actually don't know much at all, so I can't say anything. But what has what has changed from a long time ago is that today, depending on where you are from, all these local authorities, or the local groups, ordinary citizens like ourselves, like we get together and we kick out like all this, like a mafia type of people, and that can lead to some kind of case, like a murder case. Sometimes people die when you do that. So yeah. And also I have heard that there are more and more like Chinese or Korean yakuza people mingled in. So what happens is that back then, the police could talk to them, but and because there's a common understanding and a common like a cultural background, that you have to follow like a certain rule, like an unspoken rule, but they don't get it, so it's harder, and it might not be applied to all the groups. But I hear stuff like that. Hmm. How big are your paintings, Yuko? The ones that I showed is actually, actually I just have it here. This size. Cute, right? It's cute. Yeah, with a sign. I have to write like all rights belong to Yoko. I have to write that. And then this one. Bird. I wrote bird. Please buy. And I'll send you directly, with a note. Like a thank you note. Hmm. To 2,000 watch times? Really? I mean, hours watch time? Huh. Maybe. Are you game streaming on YouTube? Yes, yes. Gaming. I have a gaming channel. Random yoga vlog. Uh, I'm so like sweaty. Okay. Whew. Twitter needs 15 million views over 3 months. Check your analytics to see how close you are. I don't think I have that much. Um, let's see. I have my phone here. Let's check. How do I check? Tool settings. Is it settings? Well, how do I see the impression? I don't know how to see that. But I'll check it out. Check that out. I can't even speak. It's 1 in the morning. Car from 1,000 to 5,000, 500. Really? Huh. I feel confident saying it's a foregone conclusion. Trump will be the GOP nominee for 2024. See, that is a foregone. 先だった過去の規定の like it's decided. Yeah, the JCU chairman Jay Iba was telling us that the Republican Party are all like supporting Trump, like basically for the election, like, or was it ACU? Like he would no, I think he said Republican Party, like everybody is supporting Trump, and I'm on Truth Social now. I'm not posting anything there, but I'm there. If you haven't followed me there, I'm just there. So if you feel like following me, please do. Link in the description box. And I am checking in every now and then on there to see what Trump is saying. And I just saw this good poll he was sharing that Trump is leading 18% compared to Biden in a hypothetical match, and DeSantis is pretty much like a virtual tie with Biden. So, and it's interesting how, like, DeSantis was, people expected him to be strong, but at least at this stage, it's like Trump. It's definitely Trump. So, but I am a little afraid, though, what the left has prepared to attack Trump, because they make up anything. The last time with, was it the two twice, like when he became the president, against Hillary. Hillary kept saying like Russia, Russia, Russia together with the media outlets in the US. So bizarre, but it was effective, for the election. I wonder what comes next with them, At least for Biden's side, Biden has problem with their family. Biden family has this dark secrets, and yeah. And also, oh, I see super chat before that. Also, like, I heard that Steve Bannon talked about Kennedy being the vice president to Trump. Like that's what he is preparing for. But Kennedy is like, no, or something like that. I heard something like that. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But at the same time, like if that's the case, that would be so interesting, because if that's the picture, then the picture definitely becomes, American patriots or American citizens against the deep state. So that's something that we would want to see too. Regarding that, in Japan right now, there's LDP, Liberal Democratic Party, which was Shinzo Abe's party, like somewhat conservative in Japan, right? And then Komeito, like the Buddhist party that is pro-China. They are forming the governing power, but there's another party called Ishin, from one of the opposition parties, and they are not only, they are very popular today because LDP is losing support, and simultaneously, like, I guess the Japanese people are expecting more from that party Ishin. Like they're not really conservative, but they're way better than other opposition parties. I mean, there's one other good opposition party, but basically, like Ishin is very popular. And there's this scenario that they could be the biggest opposition party, or in the future, after that, they could be one of the leading parties. So then, even Japan, the picture changes, and we can dramatically change our country. Thank you so much again for the super chat, Gary. Last question: what do you think is an issue in Japan that the PM and Japanese Parliament should be focusing more? Right now, I think the economy, because economy is a heart to the country, right? And our economy is really, 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 really bad. If you fix our economy, then our birth rate problem will be like, it might not be solved, but the problem will be less, I think. So, and also, we are saying like, oh, we will boost our defense budget, but simultaneously, especially Kishida, being the typical LDP politician, who is a who is the pet of our Ministry of Finance, he is likely to raise our taxes. So then, our economy would get even worse, and our economy is just, the cycle is bad, and also, like, we have, like, just like other countries, we are changing our, like, the semiconductor industry and so on, and also we are preparing all the laws and system for security, like economic security and so on, but we are changing things around. But yeah, that's something that we need to just, like, we need to hurry and fix. There are lots of problems combined, like it's all coming from economy. We want to raise our defense budgets, but like, as I said, like, it's, if we are if our taxes become even bigger, then we can't pay. Like, it's so hard to make a living today in Japan, you know and the dollar, like, yen is so weak right now, so crazy. And at least for me personally, I am lucky because I'm living in one of the few, like, actually two areas in Japan, like, or district, I should say, that the electricity fee is remaining the same, because we have nuclear power plants running. It's very efficient, so our fees are not as expensive as other uh, prefectures. But in other prefectures, because of the left pressure, they're not using the nuclear power plant. So what happens is that they have to pay more, because in order to produce energy, it costs more, than nuclear power plants. So it's making things worse, man. And I was so that I hope that that answers your question. It's the economy. Simply, it's economy. I would say. Uh, then other things will be fixed more. So yeah, I was gonna say something about what we talked about yesterday. Hmm. Yeah, sorry, it's late at night. Like, I'm not as sharp as usual. Thank you for a super sticker too. Thank you so much. There are 3 stickers. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh man, it's so hot. Whew, Ukraine doesn't come off as an ally of the US to me. Well, you have it already started. you know, uh, the US is like we should have had that sort of conversation before everything had started, but we're in this right now, so you have to think about what to do. at least right now, I think I'm actually of impressed of Zelensky. He's such a salesman, going all like visiting all these other countries and getting all this money, and all this gears and weapons to you know to contribute to the war, to support his own country. Not anyone can do that, and that's like, wow, like I don't think that our leader could do that. Shinzo Abe was good, but not the current one. Like he can try, but because Japan is a good country and other countries have a listen, right? But yeah. And what's important is that um it sucks because we're now in the war. And of course, like we don't want to continue doing this, but we have to. In, this is my opinion. You are entitled to your opinions too. Like I understand other ways of thinking too, but my way of thinking is that we have already started this and we can't go back. And politically speaking, this becomes our premise of the future. So how we handle the situation right now will be the premise uh, for the future. And China, Russia will use this as an example. Like they are checking how many countries will come, when they take a selfish action like this right now. Like this invasion didn't have to happen, but Putin saw that opportunity and he just went in. And then we are here, all the countries on the free world side we are in. And if we pull, especially in the wrong way, then we just end up feeding our enemies. And of course, like I personally don't want to spend more money, but at the same time, our enemies are spending their people and money too. And because China is cheating, it's not fair and it's not easy. But we actually have other ways too, just like I've been saying, like Tibet, Uyghurs, the Mongolia, Hong Kong. We could actually agitate the independence of those states so that China has to handle that, right? I mean, they have population, but you know, still like they have to come up with strategies, and it like their costs go into that when we take actions like that. But people just the real problem is that we don't think about all this like proactive things that we can change the game around, but people don't talk about it. We keep talking with the same premise. So that's what I hate about it. Hmm. Yeah, and also to me, of course, Russia is very firm. Like Putin is such a dictator that I don't think that, just like Xi Jinping, like both leaders, those two leaders are very, very good at what they do, actually, right? Like nobody can assassinate them, even though our enemy is somewhere, like I don't know what kind of enemy, but that killed our amazing former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. But they cannot, like we cannot assassinate Putin or Xi Jinping, right? Yeah, but as the time goes by and as we endure in this war somehow, just like Prigozhin, went against Putin. We don't know the background story of that. Of like, there is a possibility that Prigozhin was actually working with Putin to see who could betray Putin. Like who knows? We have all these different scenarios that we can think of, but still, like it happened, and Russian people are, influenced by that. And in politics, I believe that it's about like shaking the regime, to create opportunities. After the World War II, for example, everything was chaotic. And in the meantime, many countries in Asia got independent. Just like that. Or Soviet Union, it collapsed, but then, you had to have a nuclear weapon and then get independent. That sort of thing. So you have to be prepared, right? And I think that it might not be like the whole country collapsing. That might I feel like that's not real. Like that's I don't think that's realistic, and I don't think that it's easy. But what could happen, I think, is that they could break down from within, or that it shakes enough so that we can take advantage of that. So I think that people, like, sometimes I get sick of people talking about things like in the textbook level, like they're such a perfectionist in my opinion. Anyway, good morning, Yoko. Ohayo. Ohayo. Ohayo gozaimasu. Yoko, I can see you getting a Japanese trad wife trending. Trad wife? What is that? What is that? Traditional wife? Huh. Cool, cool, cool. Every time, um, it happened at CPAC too, and at the party of CPAC. And also, like, like, every time my husband and I meet people, like, especially new people or someone that we haven't seen in a long time, I think it's, of course, they are being polite, so that might be part of the reasons why they make this type of commentary. But they tell us that I am such a, like a good wife, supporting our husband. We have a word for it. I wonder if there's English for that. Just help. I owe my success to my better half. Oh man, you don't have that cultural background. Wow. Like faithful helpmate. Right. You don't have that saying, like, but in Japan it says, like, there's this help coming from within, between the couple. It's the wife that supports the husband, to raise his social status, and also just help him in any way possible. And people tell me that I'm a good wife, supporting him. So that's such a compliment for me. And they also ask me, or ask us, like, if we ever fight, my husband and I. And we actually don't. We hardly, like, fight, because I know his way of thinking. Like, I know his patterns now, and I don't have to confront. Like, I can just accept, right? And acceptance is love. Definitely. Like, that's the definition of love for me, like acceptance, especially coming from Japan. That's my definition. So, like, they talk about unconditional love, but it's unconditional acceptance, like radical acceptance. Like, you don't try to change others, you just accept and love. So, and I can do that with him, because I really respect my husband so much, because he's the best man. No offense to you, male viewers, but to me, my husband is the best that I see, right? And that's why I married him. So of course I'm gonna be in love with him, like, forever. So that's good. The concern with Trump, though, it's likely he may be jailed and likely to run. Really, do you think that's possible? I hope he can run, but I'm sure. If he ever gets jailed, then that's gonna be a world problem. Um, like, especially at this timing, like, we all know that it's for the election, Just like I talked about Cambodia before, like in this live stream. In Cambodia, as I said, or Russia too, they arrest the opposition party leader or they dissolve the opposition party. America is doing the same thing too right now. Biden administration is interfering in, like they're abusing the judicial power and interfering in election. They're doing it like that's so low. That's so low. And they're doing the same thing as that sort of countries, like authoritarian regimes. And what's unique about Trump is that Trump administration was very, very supported by other countries, including my country. Of course, liberals were crazy. I remember even like Me Too movement, even in Europe. Of course, like liberal people are very active and they have this international ties, so that all this anti-Trump movement does spread. But at the same time, those countries that are affected by China, we all support Trump. At least those who have common sense and understand what's going on, we all support Trump. And like I said, there's CPAC going on in Japan, like a local CPAC. It's been going on. It has had this year. I think I introduced that yesterday when I was on the microphone. To like there was Hokkaido, like Sapporo, Osaka, Nagoya, and Fukuoka, and yeah. Oh, Sapporo is, I think it's in was it? No, Osaka is September, so that's the future. But yeah, in December, CPAC Japan, like the biggest one is happening in Tokyo too. And those who like they invite our politicians, too. Not only Sarah Carter, Gordon Chang, or Janine Pirro, like those people come to Japan. Janine Pirro went to South Korea though. I hope that she comes to Japan too this time. But anyway, and also the ACU chairman Matt Shullap, and the secretary. What's the word? Chief secretary? I forget the word. But like, yeah, ACU people come too. But anyway, so what happens is that it's a legit, like real CPAC in Japan, and there are Japanese politicians and Japanese supporters, like conservative people attending, and among those, like both the speakers and the participants, we all support Trump. Yesterday, after the CPAC event, as I said, we went to the party. The guy right next to me was wearing "Make America Great Again" hat, like the red hat, and he was wearing a CPAC T-shirt. And he and the guy who was sitting in front of me, they went to CPAC in America, and saw one of them even saw Trump. Like he took a picture with him too. So like very passionately supporting Trump, right? It's crazy how Trump, like how passionately loved and supported Donald Trump is in Japan. Of course, there are people like liberal people that hate him too, but there are a lot of like passionate Trump supporters here in Japan. And that's something that you cannot ignore. If you jail Trump, I don't think that we will be quiet. I mean, I will not be quiet, and I will start campaigns, and I'm pretty sure that JCU will, like, Japanese Conservative Union, the counterpart of ACU, they will do that too. And I mean, I would cooperate with them to do something about it. So like, we will not be quiet. So, and then I wonder how the left will calculate that. Hmm. Hello, Yoko. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. You cannot take the voice. That's funny. You might want to consider streaming on Kick, a Twitch competitor. Huh. It has better creator terms and a smaller pond for you to grow in. Plus, they're not. That's very important because YouTube is broken, right? Hey, what's up with Twitter? Like, is Elon Musk changing the logo, or is he just playing us? Is it gonna be X? That'll be kind of badass. I will take a note of that. Always a kick. Okay. Cool beans. Let me drink water. Let me actually take this label off. Okay. Ah, it's so hot. So okay. My question was: do Japanese farmers in the countryside have funny accents like our rural farmers in America? It's not really about the farmers, but it's about the regions. And yes, our dialect is very, very strong. So when I play COD Mobile, actually, I'm only speaking in my dialect just to be funny. And also, it's a condition that I am imposing to myself. So that's fun. But yeah, very strong dialect. Our dialects are very strong too. And so some parts are easy to understand, but if you go to like very up north or up or down to the south, I'm lost. Or even in my prefecture too, if you go to like a certain areas, I can't catch them. Yeah, so it's not about the what they do, it's about where they live, I would say. So let's get a scammer. Oh no. Uh The biggest threat, I believe, is the World Economic Forum and their new liberal world order. I think Putin is trying to put us up to it. No, he is not. He's only concerned about his authority. Please don't be naive, guys. I heard that at CPAC yesterday too. Like it's important to be alert of all these gatherings, but it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Putin. Putin is just using whatever he can, okay? Like all this traditionalism or, anti globalism and whatsoever. The Putin lovers here in Japan, for example, they often use Putin's words about the atomic bombs. You know, Putin says that America didn't have to use the atomic bombs and like how atrocious that was and so on, to side with us, but it's not like when Japanese people hear that, like Japanese people hear it and believes that Putin is saying that as a truth and as a kind word for Japanese people. But in reality, those words, about atomic bombs of America, by America, he is saying that to justify their actions. Like, oh, like he wants to say, like America is obviously bashing, like Biden administration is bashing Putin's invasion to Ukraine. So Putin is saying like, hey, look what you have done in the past, right? You were worse than what we were doing right now. So that's what he is saying. But Japanese people hear that And because it's such a sensitive emotional thing, people get deceived easily. It's just a propaganda, right? To justify his actions and dodge the bullet. But people somehow gets lost. And that's a problem, I think. And often, when it comes to globalism, the people on the right side tend to side with Putin because Putin take advantage of that. He doesn't care. He's only caring about all these people that are enemies to him. He wants to build his own system to benefit him. And so whatever is in the way, he's going to bash. And sometimes he will use the right lingo to get support because this is an information war. Hmm. Whew. How long have you and he been married? Dating before that? We've been married since 2018. So, and we got married in September. So, how many years? 18, 19, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5th year in the fall. And how long were we dating? We were activist friends before that and very close. So I don't know how far he's like we don't even remember. Yeah. It was so natural, to support him. So I remember feeling like this is just annoying that we have to go to like separate homes because if we are together then we can talk about politics all day long to make things efficiently make things efficient. So of course I married him for love, but at the same time I can't ignore the efficiency, because we were messaging each other and it was or calling each other, it just felt like a waste of time and energy. Even if he's jailed, he is still able to run. Can he? America is going through a dark time. I pray we find our way once again. Oh man, Americans. It's I don't know which is good. Americans are very Americans love revolution, love a revolution. That Americans love to fight. Stand up for their ground, like America, right? And just have a debate, very aggressively, and it divides the country and so on. In Japan, we're going through such a dark time too, believe it or not. We lost an amazing leader, Shinzo Abe, and our economy is very, very bad and is suffocating people. And simultaneously, we are silently invaded by China, and Russia is a threat to us too. And there are so many other problems, but we are very quiet people. So we are frustrated, but we don't express it. And there are crimes happening too. Some people can't even stand it, and I guess that they commit crimes. There are dark crimes happening too right now in Japan. Like just today too, in Osaka Prefecture. In Osaka, this guy, it's not stabbing, but he took out his knife, and he was found holding a knife in both hands. Knife on both hands. That's crazy. And then he slit, or what you say, caught 3 people on the train. So the crazy things like that happen in Japan. And but we're just quiet. All we do is go on Twitter and complain. That's our democracy now, I feel. Like, because we go on Twitter, and when we find like very bad videos, then we bash them publicly and so on, and things change sometimes. But yeah, and but we don't know how to fight, so that we just quietly get frustrated and don't fight like Americans do. So I feel like we need to find a place in between of Japan and the US culturally, that we shouldn't be too quiet or too loud and just make things better, you know. Trump won't be jailed. He's got Secret Service and they have nothing on him. Even if they try to harm him, they will turn him into a martyr like how the left sees George Floyd. Yeah. Hmm. Musk doesn't want to change Twitter brand to X and create something like an everything app similar to what exists in China, I think. Oh, I see. I mean, I don't know what's there in China, but I think I get it. Like everything up. Like you can do anything there. That would be good. That would be very, I like that idea. Even though it would dominate the world. Hmm. I don't actually know what Elon Musk thinks too, though. Like, and politically, like I feel like he is on our side, but I'm not sure. I don't know him. Yoko, if you would like to visit America, where would you like to go first? Japan. Japanese always pick California or Florida because of Disney parks. There's more to the US than those two states. I really want to visit Texas. You know, of course, I want to go to Texas. Florida, I don't know. I'm scared of alligators. And I want to go to Texas and Washington, D.C. I've been to Washington, D.C. before when I was 19, and I turned 20, like coming of age year is 20. I think it's now 18. Like we changed that, but at that time it was 20. So I became an adult in the US when I was visiting there. So, but anyway, and I went there, but back then I was not patriotic at all. And I was not familiar with politics at all. So, like, even though I saw the White House and also the pencil looking very sharp building is on, uh, I didn't learn anything. I did visit some museums too, but yeah. So I want to revisit Washington D.C. and also, I guess I want to see New York, but I think I'm too scared to go there. So I would, but I want to visit Texas. Would be very nice, and people there seems to be very nice too. So I think I actually have a couple friends there. So yeah, it would be nice to visit them too. Mm. It might not be a couple like I. Yeah, I have friends in Texas. Mm. Trump will still be able to run if convicted. Huh? Okay. U.S. Constitution makes the requirements not the U.S. law. Ah, I see. Individual states which run the election may try to not put him on the ballot, though. Oh, I see. Japanese are amazing fighters, I believe, and pray you will find your way again. Thank you so much. Yeah. Like once Japanese people are on the edge, we fight very well. But I guess that like we don't want to cause troubles, like culturally, so we stay quiet. But at least we are not dumb, so we are at least aware of what's going on. Hmm. Cautious but not scared. Okay. The kind of Japanese girlfriend I would like to have is not only an otaku but one sharp and can defend herself like she if she knows martial arts and can, or kendo too much. I don't think so. Some girls can be like that. I actually know one otaku who is actually who takes martial art too. She has tried Muay Thai, I think, and gets lots of bruises and so on. She can also she's a pilot. She can be a pilot too. Like she sometimes get on helicopter and so on. Very badass. And she's badass because she reads lots of comic books and she's influenced like that. And also she understands English. She lives in Tokyo, a few years older than me. I think she's still single. There are girls like that. You just have to find her, you know? Gotta make efforts. You live in Texas. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's hot here, I bet. Triple digits in the heat wave can be unbearable. I bet that the sunlight is like it hurts. I when I went to Washington D.C. when I was very younger, very much younger, like I said, it was hot, but it's the hotness was different from Japan. Like the temperature here is not as hot, but it's very, very humid, right? When I went to the US, I was surprised that it was hot, but it was not unpleasant. It just hurt on the skin. So that was like, I'm like, I can go with this, you know? Because like in Japan, it's humid. And when I visited Hong Kong, oh my gosh, Hong Kong is like a big sauna. It's so humid. It's the humidity. It's crazy. I think I heard that Hong Kongers live at night. You know, they don't go out in the daytime. If they do, they're naked and they get tanned or something. I hope you can handle it. But if you are interested, I can take you up on the road trips. Cool. Can you introduce me to her? I like that you are passionate. She I know her on Facebook and I've met her in Tokyo, but I don't know about other things. I hope that I will have some kind of I don't know. I hope I get to talk to her. No offense, but Japanese being quiet even during situations like that knife attack because of not wanting to cause cultural conflict is a detriment. I hear that word, but I don't know. Detriment. Yeah. They just ran this time. But this 90, no, 79-year-old male, he went in to stop. So I'm like, wow, like there are some very courageous older man, you know, even when Kishida was almost assassinated, you know, with a bomb, like he nearly got bombed, you know, but it was a fisherman who stopped the bomber so that nobody got injured. So it's older man can be sometimes very courageous and stop. That's amazing. But on Twitter though, in comparison, I saw this 94 or like it's someone in the 90s driving a car. You know, he was at the factory like place, you know, like where they fix the automobiles, and this guy was there and he was, I guess he was driving wrong and panicking. So then the workers there went in to stop him, opened the car, and then the older guy who was driving and going crazy went even crazier, and then the car started going back and forth and so on. And the one of the workers, you know, who appears to be, I think he's like in the 20s or 30s, he went he went behind the car who's that is going backwards, and he went behind the car to stop. I'm like, are you Goku? You know, like Super Saiyan? No, he is not. So he's like tries to stop it, but of course it doesn't stop. But some people can, when panic, like, they can be dumb. Don't ever do that. Don't go. Don't try to stop a car that's going crazy. You know. But at least they have the heart to want to stop something, from going crazy. That's good. But elderly men tend to be smarter. So wear sunscreen. I hate sunscreen. I have to wear it though because it's very strong. The sunlight is very strong. 100 Fahrenheit. Yeah, Japan is like around that uh temperature recently. Always around there, 100 or so. It's crazy, man. The weather is crazy. But I also see that the scholars and so on, I think it was scholars, some kind of experts worldwide, they are, didn't they submit some kind of statement together, like a joint statement saying that the climate change is not real and so on, that the science just doesn't understand it. Yeah, like we don't understand. Yeah. Anyway, it's been an hour and I should go. Oh man, I have to think about how to make money like instantly. Ah. So if you're watching later, you can support from Super Thanks. I have to think of how to contribute to uh for Japan US bridge, like I guess the presidential once the presidential race begins, like more like it has begun, but it's not really right. So once it's more like when people get more and more passionate, I think that I can support more so that like I can support to be supported. Like it works both ways, so that'll be good. But yeah, would you like to stop Putin and Kim Jong-un in the seats of the Ijanaika roller coaster for a full day? I don't know. Uh, Putin, Putin. I think that they just. I think the will people there in their country, once their seat is shaken, they will do what needs to be done. So I don't have to worry, I guess. Oh, super chat! Thank you so much. That's all, folks. Thank you for super chat. It really, really helps. It really helps. Like you have no idea. Thank you so much. Yum, 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 yum. I'm learning a way to make money instantly. If it works, I'll tell you more about it in private. Thank you. Yeah. Mhm. I need to, yeah. So again, my art is available. These, like, if you put in a frame, that will look. These will look cool. I won't. I won't way. And so, link in the description box. And yes, we'll think of how to contribute more. Like I shouldn't say like, "Oh, give me money" all the time, right? Like I have to work, and I love working. I'm always working, even gaming too. Like I'm doing that to connect with the younger generations here in Japan, and also I want them to see, like, at least feel politics. That they're very distant distant from the political world. So like they see that I'm engaged in the political field. So I'm doing that for that. And I don't want to be like be one of those people that just uses everything, like I want to be sincere and I want to be part of their community. So that's why I'm very like full in. Okay. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. I might play a bit of Silly Bobo a bit before bed and then just sleep. I should do a live stream more, right? I'm going to Tokyo though soon, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Wait, what is today? Today is Monday, 24th. Ah, yeah. This week I will try to go on live again if I can. So come join my gaming live stream too. You can ask me questions there too. Okay. So thank you again. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. And thank you so much for all your support, for your super chat, all this interesting comments and everything. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. And I hope that you will have a great day and night. Okay. Thanks again. But thank you. Yeah. Sleeping producers. Thank you so much. Oh, Nate. You're always kind. Thank you. See ya. Sayonara, Yoko-san. Sayonara. Have a great day. Okay. Bye.